So now let's get on to installing the DNZ scope mount on this new YHM Mark Sport chassis. I'm going to get myself a little stand and make life a little bit easier. Through the magic of TV, we are back. We got the gun up on stand, ready to put the DNZ scope mount. Now, this is a scope mount by DNZ Products, specifically meant for a Remington 700. I honestly, like every big gun builder I know from, everywhere that sells these $5,000 and $6,000 crazy guns. I'm sure they're worth it. I'm just saying they all use DNZ. Why? Because they're the best scope mounts on the market. Your scope is not gonna ever go off because of the scope mount, only when you use a DNZ. But we're gonna install that right now. I'm gonna show you how simple it is. It comes with a little hardware pack with everything that you need. I'm just gonna rip it open rather than try to unzip it. It even has the Allen wrench, which actually I'm not gonna use because if you do gun work at all, you should have this 764 little wrench there. Makes everything super fast. It also makes everything a little bit easier to deal with. Maybe the hardest thing you're gonna do when you're installing a DNZ scope mount is finding the screw hole on the first screw, which on the Remington 700, that's how hard it was. Super hard. So you're gonna take these little screws, again, that come with it. You don't need Loctite or anything like that, and they're all the same. So I like to put it on the Allen wrench first rather than fishing for it later. Not even snug, I just get it in the hole and then I go back and get everything set, ready to rock and roll. And then I'll get everything good and snug. As you can see, I left the first one really loose. And it is that simple. Okay, so now that we got the base mounted, we're gonna take a Hawk optic scope. This is a 308. This is a Hawk Endurance. All the yardage markers are etched into the reticle, and this is how super simple it is to install a DNZ scope mount. So we'll take the two tops. It's all one piece, and there's basically 8 screws to the whole thing. We're going to put it in, and I'm gonna loosely start them all like so. This is why I have this awesome Allen wrench right here. You get yourself one. Even if you're just doing yours at home, these are handy. You probably know what it's like using a little teeny Allen wrench. It's effective, but very time consuming. This is much faster. Do it one-handed even. One hand, Mom. And after I get them started, I'm going to go ahead and just snug down. Now I'm going to get it nice and tight. Now, before I do that, while it's still a little loose, I'm going to loosen it up a little bit more so it's a little bit more free. I want to show you one of the coolest things DNZ has invented, and this is the Nevel. A lot of guys you can look through the scope and look at your crosshairs, from this end and go, oh, it looks level, looks level. Everybody's looking for perfection. How are you going to get a level on everything here is round? They have got this little critter right here. It's called the Nevel. They got it for 1 inch and for 30 millimeter. It is super simple to use. Basically, it's going to slide over your mount and it's going to sit on top of the turret. So now while I'm holding the Nevel, I'm going to go ahead and snug up these bolts. Allen bolts. And it is not going anywhere. I can take this back off. And my scope is perfectly level. I'll tell you, if you have a gun shop, you'd be crazy not to have a Nevel in your shop, because look how fast. And this is perfectly leveled. I didn't need, levels, and I don't have to make sure. I can do this whole thing with the gun twisted sideways. It makes no difference whatsoever. And now the crosshairs are 100% perfect in here. Just checking my clearances real quick. And so now I'm gonna snug everything down really tight. Don't want to over tighten it, but usually as much as the top of the Allen wrench will tighten up is about a perfect torque range for you. And we are done. The DNZ scope mount is now installed. Guess what else is installed? The scope itself. So check out DNZ scope mounts at dnzproducts.com. Seriously, go check it out. They have a scope mount for every caliber you can imagine. This is a Remington 700 tactical. They got a Remington 700 regular. They got long action, short action, everything you can imagine, from Savage, Winchester, every caliber, every gun, every scope tube size. And you can get them right online, or you can go into most major retailers have them now. It's just at A&G Shooting and Supply. They have them. Boss Man's going to have them. Everybody's got DNZ scope mounts. So you can go into the store, pick up the one you need. These things are the best.